Hello, everyone. This is JD Calderon, and this is Indy Comics Explained. And yet again, I brought another fantastic group of independent comic book creators. And today we're going to be talking about the direct market. But before that, please hit like, hit subscribe, share out the video, let everybody know we're here. Without further ado, let's bring on the man himself.
What is up, Streamland? I am JD Rosario, the guy who runs Unstoppable Comics for more than 16 years. How the hell have I been doing it? I don't know, by the skin of my teeth. But I am hanging out with this guy over here, and we're going to be talking to quite a few people who have been putting their money where their mouth is and surviving the long game in comic book publishing.
All right. And we brought on the other man.
I saw that JD was having a little hard time picking which direction you were in. So I was just saying what you were doing like this, like the scarecrow. So I'm Marvin Wynn. I am the guy from Pittsburgh in the Comicsburg.
Nice. And our first guest, Mr. Frank.
Hey guys.
How you doing, Frank?
Forte here. Yeah, from Asylum Press. We do books like Fearless Dawn Cold, Vampire Macabre. We're an indie publisher. Been doing it since like 1999. Repped by Diamond, Lunar, a bunch of other guys. So been doing the indie scene for quite a long time.
All right. Cool.
Oh, hey, everybody. I'm Randy Zimmerman. I've been associated with Arrow Comics since as far back as most of you have been born. So do a lot of books. Right now we're doing Hero Bot Zero, Calico of Shard, and Paragon. They're all available at arrowcomics.store.
Now, Randy, I'm just going to say you're not quite that old, okay?
No.
You know, because the
Not
rest
at all.
of us are old enough that, you weren't that old, which is...
Well, I was
saying we're
talking
old.
to your audience, not so much
okay.
our esteemed
Okay.
panel here.
Gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha.
mid-'80s. Let's just say mid-'80s. So there you go. Since a lot of you before you were in school, then there we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mr. Big Dog himself.
So what's up, everybody? Big Dog Inc. Tom Hutchison back again, causing trouble. Hopefully, we'll have a little fun tonight. We've been doing this for 13 years on our own here, in and out of different publishers, in and out of different distributors. Pretty much just do it all straight from us to you now, but that could change. Who knows?
Very nice. All right, so listen, let's just jump right into it, right? So I got that show thing going on there. Can indie comics survive and thrive in the direct market? What does it take, right? So that's just the title of the show. But the real question is, what is the first piece of advice you would give an upcoming or brand new publisher, right, who'd want to get into the direct market, right? What's that first piece of advice? And listen, guys, please. I'm with you. Try to refrain from saying like being a barista or being an auto mechanic, because I've been there, done that. Let's try to bring some positivity to it, because sometimes it just feels like go become an electrician, you'll make more money. But we're talking about art, right? So how can these people art their way into this?
Don't quit your day job is not an option.
Right.
Okay.
That's not an option.
Well, that's like Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? Arnold Schwarzenegger will tell you, don't have a plan B.
Yeah.
You have to only have one plan, because if you have a plan B, then you won't put everything you have into plan A.
True.
Right.
Oh, I got a huge counter to that argument. But
Well, you take that to Arnold. You take that to Arnold, sir, not me.
Right.
but
So-
yes.
So hold on. So Frank, what are your thoughts? What was the first thing you would tell to a burgeoning publisher?
I mean, I would say, you could start out if you want to do Kickstarter, to raise some money and stuff. But I personally don't have any problem with Diamond. I like Diamond, and I like getting the books into comic shops. So I would say try to get some form of distribution. Even if you do a print run and you start selling direct to stores. But eventually I think your goal should be to have some type of distribution through Diamond or Lunar or some other way. I mean, I like being on the racks myself.
Okay, that's fair. Randy?
3 big words: do your research. That'd be my advice. Go in there. Don't just dive in and grab a distributor and say, hey, I'm doing funny books. You need to carry me. You need to know what you're doing. You need to understand the markets. And there are multiple markets and how they shift and how they change, because it's very fascinating, especially if you want to do business and make money in these markets. You need to know who's doing what, where, when, and how it's getting done. And, best of all, how you can get along with a distributor to carry yourself in the retail shops. And believe me, the retail shops desperately need the independents right now.
Yeah, except that most of the retail shops don't seem to realize that.
Isn't that amazing? They've got this preconceived notion.
Yep.
That's correct. And this is where we have a problem, folks. Of the roughly 2,500 comic book stores that exist in America, about 500 of them will buy indies in any sort of real serious quantity, like, more than maybe 10. There's plenty of shops that will buy for their customers. If their customer comes in and says, I want Penny for Your Soul, put it on my pull list. Cool, we got you. They'll buy the one copy and they'll give it to that dude, which is fine.
Yep.
But what we have to try and figure out is, why won't that dude who has a customer asking for a particular book, why won't he buy a couple more and throw them on the rack and see if the rest of his customers maybe would like that book as well? And that's the missing piece to this jigsaw puzzle. And so what you have to really understand right now is that, maybe more so than ever, the direct market, particularly when you're talking about going through Diamond and into comic book stores, the direct market is a marketing expense right now. You are not going to make any sort of significant money on what you put through Diamond, at least probably not. Does that mean you can't build over time? Of course not. Of course you can. But it's a very difficult process and a very difficult thing to do. Like I just said, most stores really don't give a damn about what it is you're producing. So you have to come at it as, yes, we would like to be in comic book stores. Yes, we would want to be on the racks. How do we do that? How do we talk to stores to say, hey, we're in Diamond now, and come buy our books and put them on your rack? That's a ton of work to do it. I did it when we started. I did it when I went over with Aspen Comics, and they were publishing us for a few years. And when it came time for me to either go back into the direct market or change my entire plan and start going direct to customer for Kickstarter, I jumped ship, and I've been doing Kickstarters and direct sales for the last almost 8 years now. That is where we have been thriving more so than we thrived in the comic book stores. However, the comic book stores, if you can get in there, it will put eyeballs on what you're doing. And that, again, it's that marketing expense. So if you can get people to find you in the comic book store, and then within your comic book you have, hey, follow us on TikTok and here and here and here, hopefully they will, and then they can learn a little bit more about who you are, what you do, and how you do things, and you can expand your brand sort of on the back end of the retail market, whether it's crowdfunding, eBay, web store, whatever it happens to be. But if your initial goal and your primary goal is, I want to be in comic book stores, you're going to be out of business in a hurry.
Fair enough. Mr. Wynn, what are your thoughts?
I mean, everybody's
Especially
got really
since
good
you're in
answers.
it.
Everybody's got really good answers so far. So I'll just piggyback on the research thing and say that you need to know these stores. You need to know who your customers are, who your customers. You're not just you can't just drop a book off in the store and say good luck and then walk away from it. You got to be in constant communication with these store owners monthly. Like, I'm talking to at least 300 stores a month, making sure that they have what they need, making sure that the product's moving, because if you don't, then it just evaporates over time and you're lost. I mean, it's really good to be in the catalog because it's a door opener, but it's not enough. You're in a catalog. It's a Sears catalog. It's a huge book, and most of the time you're going to get missed. No one's going to pay attention to you because you're not in the front of the book. Many a times when I contacted stores, they said, "Oh, I would have just ignored you if you wouldn't have contacted me." I'm flipping through this book. I'm not looking for anything particular, but since you contacted me, hey, I'll be happy to order some copies of the books to get in there. But then again, I've also heard of people not ordering books even though they were asked to. So people have gone in the store, say, "Hey, can you get this for me?" And they've been told no. And my thought was, I would never go back to that store again.
Yep.
If you're not willing to put the products in my hands that I'm looking for, then I can't do business with you. But I mean, it's just going to be a task, and to get in front of that, you need to know who these stores are, because you're not getting it from the distributor. So you need to do your upfront work, your I guess your grassroots marketing to the stores, finding where the stores are at, and getting them on the phone or getting them an email. And each store is different, so they could want a phone call, they could want an email, they could want neither. So sometimes it's just like, all right, I'm going to do a store crawl and hit every store that's within 50 miles of my home, or I'm going to get the stores that are 10 miles of my home. You've got to do all the work to get recognized, because if not, you're not getting the sales. It's not going to happen.
Okay, that's fair. Now, just out of curiosity, how many stores would you say you have to call a day? You personally?
Me?
Yeah.
Every
what
month,
do you do?
I'm contacting at least 400 stores.
God damn it.
Damn. So that's what? More than 10 a day. That's like, what, 12 a day?
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. Okay.
I mean,
Fair enough.
it's what you have to do.
Right.
You just have to.
On top of
because
one of
the
all the
biggest
other work you got to do.
Yeah, one of the biggest complaints from the stores is that they don't have any communication with publishers.
Mhm.
They're kind of left in the lurch. They get things in the
Yeah,
mail.
but you know what, guys? Publishers are not that difficult to get a hold of anymore. Like any retailer
of
that's
course.
like, yeah, but it's like we come to this point where there's excuses, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'd really love to carry Scout, but I don't know how to contact them. Bullshit. We all have social media. We all have emails. It takes you 2 minutes to go to scoutcomics.com and find their stuff and talk to somebody. So one of the problems that we have in the retail end is also simply people that don't understand business and they don't understand how to run a shop. There are certainly exceptions to the rule, but there's a lot of guys that just kind of come up and they're just like, well, I'm just going to sell comics, you know, in my local mall. And this is what we do. We'll make sure we have Spider-Man and Batman on the rack, but that's all they know how to do. So we have to, I mean, like you said, Marvin, you're literally contacting these stores every single month. And that's part of the job. But at the same time, all these retailers just kind of sit back and almost wait to be told what to do rather than being sort of proactive for themselves.
Right.
And that's the part of the business that blows my mind is when I talk to store owners and they're like, well, I don't know who these publishers are. And I'm like, they're in your damn book every month. Like, how do you not know who these people are? And if your store is solely relying on Marvel and DC and maybe a little bit of like licensed stuff like Transformers or whatever, like that's a store that's doomed.
Right. And just to follow up on that, I just heard from a few stores that told me they're not carrying pops anymore.
Yeah.
Really?
They've oversaturated the market and they don't sell.
It's the end of the comic shop industry.
We're all gonna die.
Right?
So
That's the excuses that you hear on a regular basis now in less than 30 seconds. One of my favorite ones is, I'll never buy a book that was sold to customers on Kickstarter because right? But of the average 200 people that back a single Kickstarter, divided by 2,500 or so, that's less than one person per shop. That'll kill your entire fucking business.
So
here with your bullshit.
Just to reiterate that, we actually so you know that I did the Comics Pro thing back in February. We actually got in an argument with a store owner about that same exact thing where he kind of told us that if that was on Kickstarter, it'll never sell in my store. We're like, why? And he couldn't really give us a good reason why, because your Kickstarter is going to top out maybe your high end, you'll get 1,000, maybe 500 people. That's not even your area. Maybe that's that. I mean, that doesn't even count that area where that store exists. So why do you care where it came from? To me, I think that as a store owner, I should be able to put that book in anybody's hands, no matter where it's coming from. So I should have a Kickstarter page set up on my computer. Hey, I heard about this Kickstarter book. If you're interested, I can order copies. Guess what? It's coming to my store. You have to come to the store and pick it up.
Right. It doesn't even include the fact that maybe 20% of your sales are international.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
So it's like it's not even covered yet. So Jay, you got any thoughts on it?
Fuck yeah, I got thoughts on it. On the excuses or your original question?
The original question,
the excuses tangent was heading also. You know.
Well, yeah.
But all right, on the original question, reaching out to all the creators, I am agreeing with everything everybody's saying. It needs to be explored a lot more than a few blurbs, because everything that was brought up is very important. One thing that has been mentioned yet is please take a business class or a marketing class or both. All right. Just so you can understand all these elements that the guys have been bringing up so far tonight. Really. College Business 101 is going to teach you those foundational elements that can transfer from different type of business to different type of business. Okay. Understand how to set a budget. Understand how to create a spreadsheet. Okay. Understand how to manage your time. That's key, especially when you're running lean, like all of us are, right? I mean, we run lean. We don't have support teams to go into this, helping us out. And then I'm going to bring about a number that I'm constantly bringing up because it's been on record. And when Valiant came about its resurgence, Dinesh kept saying that. When I say kept saying, I heard him at least on 3 different podcasts. So excuse me. All right. If 3 is too little for people. So I've heard him say it 3 different times that 80% of his revenue came from 18% of the shops in the country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
what Tom was talking about, though.
Yeah, that's the 80-20 rule in general.
Fuck.
Yep.
What the fuck? Mm-hmm. I mean, really? So, okay. Let me scale this down a little bit. A corner store or a bodega in anywhere U.S., all right, deals with multiple vendors on multiple days, selling $2 sodas and 50-cent chips. And they're able to stay in business, dealing with all the different elements that they have to deal with on a regular basis. So if you can't order from more than one vendor, why are you even in business? Do you understand certain foundational principles of business? Do you? Some shops do. Some shops, you're in a great fucking location and you really don't need to do that. Sorry, not trying to bash on shops. All right. But I mean, come on. So that's one element. Another element is why aren't distributors trying to find new accounts besides comic book shops?
Yes.
All right.
Well, they should be going to those Kickstarters and offering business to them.
Yes. Wait a minute. You're asking retailers to actually do work, my friend.
Yes.
Well, no, from the distribution
point
of view, the distributors should be reaching out to those Kickstarters and offering them business.
And the reason why I said that, bringing up accounts, is to go into my past for a minute. I worked for a beer distributor. We had portfolios of different types of beer companies. It was our job as the distributor, not Corona, not Coors Light, not Sam Adams. It was our job as a distributor to locate new accounts.
Mm-hmm. But when you're a monopoly for 30 years, you don't necessarily have to worry about that sort of thing.
That's it. Exactly.
Don't.
That's the whole point.
Exactly. And look at what happened to the New York City TLC Commission when Uber and Lyft came around. All right? Mm-hmm. They started eating their lunch. And now they're out there crying, oh, we don't need this in our city. Why? Because you had a monopoly, you wouldn't innovate. And the customers came about and said, this is the way we want to do business now. Mm-hmm. All right? Marvin said it a moment ago. If you're going into a shop and they're not serving your needs, why are you going to be returning there? Yep. And that has happened on the macro in this industry.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. All right? I mean, sorry, whether you want to face it or not, crowdfunding became a disruptor for direct distribution. Tom, the last time you were on the show, we brought this up. We ran the numbers down very quickly, right? With convention math. I think you had about 322 backers on the campaign we were talking about that day, and you had maybe about $17,000. All right. So if on average, each book you were selling was going for a $5 cover price at a 60-40 split, you were getting about $2 per book. $2 times 322 people, all right, is just over what?
600.
How the fuck are you going to stay in business with that kind of fucking margin, dude? Mm-hmm. Right? Yet here you are thriving on direct-to-consumer model. and you're looking at shops as a secondary source of revenue or as an element on the top of the funnel, the first time somebody has interaction with your product. Hopefully,
Well,
they will.
hold on, Jay. Hold on, Jay. You're going a little far afield, right? Because this is the whole
business.
conversation
It's
about the direct.
publishing.
But we was discussing the direct market. We discuss Kickstarter all the time, right? The
Okay.
direct market
Well, right,
we
but-
actually don't.
But his point is that the direct, and it's kind of like what I said, right? It's like a marketing tool. So the direct market is the top of your funnel to bring them down to whatever else you're doing everywhere else,
Right.
rather
Yeah,
than the big profit margin area.
Right. But I mean, but the thing is though, is there ever a chance, right? Like, look, we know our forebears, right? Guys like Dave Sims, who I think at their peak was I think he might have been selling what 50,000 copies of Cerebus at one time per issue, right? We had Jeff Smith.
None of that
with
matters.
Bone.
None of that matters. I'll
No,
tell you why.
but-
I'll tell you
well,
why it doesn't matter.
Well, because it's in the past. The stores that used to support those guys no longer exist. That's
But more
the big
so.
issue.
There were also multiple distribution channels at that point.
More so than that.
Oh, what's up? What do you got?
Okay. Back in 1980 and the 90s, no one had entertainment in their hand on their phone. No one had video games that they could just wander around and sit on the bus and play video games and watch TV and movies and so on. We are in direct we've always been in direct competition to some degree with video games and so on. But now, because this stupid piece of rectangle plastic can entertain you for hours upon hours upon hours on end instantly, we're at an even higher point of competition with all of those apps and whatever else is on the stupid phone. So back then, comics, to multiple things. One, they were coming in at a new point in comics, right? The direct market was happening. There was a spotlight on comics happening, particularly once you got to the 90s. People talked about comics on the freaking Johnny Carson show and stuff. Nowadays, the only thing that they talk about are the movies, and there's no, or I shouldn't say no, there's a minuscule trickle down effect from watching an Avengers movie to buying an Avengers comic book. There's just not really a connection there. So comics have been sort of left behind by pop culture. We were 80s, 90s, a little bit of 2000s. We were kind of pop culture. And then once the movies started happening, it was like, well, we don't need comics anymore because we have movies. And then once Marvel Universe happened, holy crap, we really have movies now. Right. So it's like, what is the point of that of comics now, with the advent of so much entertainment at your fingertips and the ability for now all of us to basically turn on our phone and be a podcast and be a star and talk about whatever we want to do. Like, it's just the focus of like, I want to read Spider-Man every single month. Like, that's not a thing anymore. It's a thing for a group of people, but it's not a thing for like the larger audience. And they don't, it's not even in their brain, even when they watch a Spider-Man movie.
Right. But that trickle down effect is a marketing mistake on
for sure
on Marvel and DC's part, because when you had Captain America: Civil War was in theaters, Captain America was Hydra in the comics.
Right.
So if you're going into a comic shop and say, I want to read the new Captain America, you're like, who's this guy?
Yeah, but from the beginning, they've never done that. So
right, it's a marketing error on their part to not funnel people from the movie theater into the shops.
Right, but that's like you said, a marketing error. In anime, right? Anime fuels the sales of manga.
Yes.
Right, that's the way that works. They create anime so they can fuel the sales of manga, and they use that manga money to continue the anime and the product. I'm sorry, Randy. I know you're going to say something. But
I was just going to say that's not a marketing error on Marvel and DC's part. That's a lack of caring. There's a big difference. And manga has grown not primarily because of anime, but because somebody else read that manga, loved it, and told their friend. That's the biggest sales point with manga. If you go and you look at the Scholastic Dogman and Cool Cat Comic Club, it's the same thing. Dogman started out very small, very minuscule. Actually, this guy who did Captain Underpants decided to do a regular comic book. And 2 kids read it, told 4 kids, and it just literally telescoped out from there. Word of mouth has always been the best marketing tool for any kind of entertainment. And it's just a matter of them getting it, finding it, loving it, and telling other people about it. And that's something, quite frankly, sorry to get on a soapbox, that Marvel and DC stopped caring about 30 years ago.
Right. Now,
In my opinion, I guess I should say.
right. Those are all our opinions. But I got a question for Tom and Frank, right? And Marvin. Well, I don't know, Tom, do you have a book currently going? Because I know you're working with Dynamite. Is your book coming out?
Well, the Bad Kitty book I did for them is done. We did that earlier in the year. So
okay.
I have campaigns coming up, but nothing right now.
Okay, so here's some of you guys, right? So Frank, and obviously I don't need numbers, but I mean, do you guys see? Is there a possibility or even a window to sell anywhere from 5 to 10K books?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem talking numbers. I've been doing this for a long time, since like the early 90s. So I remember when there was Diamond, Capital City, Styx, Heroes World, Comics Hawaii, and all that stuff. And you always got more orders when you had more distributors. So when Lunar came out, I didn't really understand why these publishers were going exclusive or leaving Diamond. We always wanted to be non-exclusive, so we signed with Lunar, and now we have Diamond and Lunar. And I have to say that our pre-orders almost doubled using both. I thought they would even out or go down or be less Diamond and more Lunar. It's doubled. So I'm like, this is great. This actually allows us to, be a publisher again. And then when you add in the micro distributors, which is like Comics Mainstream and Comics Distro, who take maybe 50 to 100. I mean, those guys are thinking out of the box. Like Comics Mainstream, he's in Oregon, and he's putting comic racks of indie publishers into like pot shops and indie bookstores and little storefronts. So he's like regional, and he's doing it locally. But I still like the fact that my comic can be in a pot shop where normally it wouldn't be there, or in an indie bookstore, or maybe a little flea market store, or a shop that like wants to carry comics. Normally they wouldn't be there. So numbers wise, like we publish Fearless Dawn, horror anthologies and stuff. We were averaging maybe 3,000 to 4,000 per book on pre-orders with Diamond. And when we do a Kickstarter, maybe we get 250, 260 backers. Now with Lunar, we've kind of doubled it. We're up to like 5,000 to 6,000, maybe even 7,000 pre-orders of a single book with like 4 variant covers. And then we ship another 100 to these micro distributors. And then I'm also working to pre-sell to comic shops, WhatsApp sellers who don't have a retail location, and other convention sellers that just do cons that want to buy, hey, I'll take 20 copies, I'll take 50, I'll take 100. So it's a matter of really kind of learning all these different retail locations and sellers, and WhatsApp seller, whatnot sellers, and just getting those books straight from the printer right out to these guys. So it's in a lot of locations. I mean, that seems like the best we can do right now, because you don't have, I don't know, you guys know the numbers in the 90s. How many comic shops were there? Was it 5,000, 10,000? I'm not sure exactly what that number is.
Over 10,000 and
10,000. So that's why you would sell,
hard,
that's why you would sell 40,000, 50,000 of a book, because you had a lot of shops ordering that. Yep. And as for getting those over those, 800 shops to order, more indies, you just got to get out there like Marvin does. Call them, send promo postcards, send promotional posters, send the book, and you just got to bug them. Some shops, like, as hard as you try, they just want to carry Marvel and DC, and you're just never going to break it. But that doesn't mean you can't find other avenues, to get the books to these other readers, because they're out there.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So Tom, I mean, when you did your stuff through Dynamite recently, what, like I said, I don't need exact numbers, but were the sales at least decent?
Well, Dynamite was just crowdfunding. It was never, it was never put into retail stores. I don't know what their plan is after that. I mean, the book's done, so I would assume at some point they'll be like, yeah, let's put it in stores. But we just did a crowdfunding for that. But even when we were back before I went over to Aspen, we were selling anywhere between 3,000 to 5,000 units a month for our different books, based on, different books had different, sales, of course. And our peak was 7,000, and that would have been what, 2013 or so. We had a couple of books that were selling like 5,000 to 7,000 units. So,
now, were you doing multiple covers at that time, Tom? Were there
just AB covers?
AB covers.
Yeah,
cool.
just AB.
Uh-huh.
And Marvel Diamond wouldn't let us separate it. So all the retailers were allowed to do was just buy 20 copies, and they'd get 10 of each. So they couldn't even select the one that they wanted. And I kept telling them, like, motherfucker, like, this is what the stores are telling me they want to do. Like, they want to pick their cover and they'll buy more. And they were like, well, we can't do that. We can't. I'm just like, whatever. And so guess what? I'm not with Diamond anymore.
Yeah, but now you can do that. They can order whatever amount per cover, A, B, C, D, or whatever.
Sure. A decade later, I'm going to go back and, monkey around with whatever system they have now. It's like I've already reestablished myself without them. And like I said earlier, like this was the question, right? Is, can you survive in the market? Yes. Can you thrive? I don't know. I don't know if there is a thriving mechanism there. I think you can use it to thrive within the scope of your entire business. But as far as like, can I go back into Diamond and suddenly sell 5,000 units of that same book again? Probably not. Can I build it back up over time? Maybe. But how much time is that going to take me versus just where I am now, where I am thriving? Why not put my time into what I'm doing and build that further and faster? Because everything that I do now, the profit margins are higher because it's me to you. It's not me to a guy, to a guy, to a guy. So, that's really the big question, right? Is like, what makes more sense? Particularly, again, like we're all basically doing this more or less ourselves. I mean, me literally by myself. I know some of you other guys have, assistants and people that help you do stuff, but I literally even do the shipping for my Kickstarters. So this is all me. So to be taking the time to go, like Marvin's talking about, and contact 400 stores a month, screw that, man. I got shit to do. And if those stores want me, I'm right here. And I deal direct with a lot of stores because they're like, yo, can we get your stuff? I'm like, absolutely. Let me get you this. Let me get you this. We have great prices. We got free shipping. Like, I will stock your store. But stores aren't interested in doing that, directly. Again, like we just said, it was Diamond. That was super easy. Now it's Lunar. Oh my God, I have to do 2 vendors. And now they have to talk to Big Dog Inc. as a 3rd vendor too. 90% of the stores don't want that. So if they don't want it, I don't want it. So I'm just going to keep doing it myself.
I think you will find that a lot of the one by one, there are a lot of indie stores that will buy you. And we sell direct to a lot of stores that like indie stuff that can't get reorders and want to get it. And I think if stores are, coming to you and wanting your books, that if you signed with Diamond and Lunar, like as a AB distributor, I think you would get, because I've seen your books and I'm positive you would get enough orders to be profitable. You'd probably right off the bat, you'd do like 3 to 6 at least with both of them. And then you'd be getting out to new people that would buy your backstock and buy your trades and buy your metal covers and your upper priced, your upper tier covers that are like a little more expensive. I know it's more work and I feel like you're somehow anti-Diamond, but I don't think you should really see them as a bad thing.
I'm not anti-Diamond and I'm not anti-retail store. I know a lot of people that run stores and I watch them struggle and I'm like, dude, this is the worst. And I'm so sorry that all this is so hard for you. But I am pro customer. And for so long, I have struggled with the retail market right to the point where we were talking about stores bullshitting. I had customers come to me and tell me that they went to their store and said, I want Big Dog Inc., whatever it was. And the store would tell them, oh, sorry, I can't order that. And I'm like, that's a blatant lie. And we're not talking about just back issues. We're talking about like just going forward. Like, hey, I want Legend of Oz. We're at number 12. Get me number 13 forward. Okay, cool. Like they would literally tell the customer, I can't get that book. Yep. Like blatantly lie to the customer. And I'm like, this is BS. This is what I'm butting my head against. So again, I'm not against all of that. And I've even considered dropping into Lunar and saying like, okay, what's happening here? Because I know some other places have gone in there like Merc and Scout and so on. And I'm kind of curious. But at the same time, it's like it's so much extra work to go do all of that, and I'm literally one person. So anytime that I'm doing one thing, something else isn't getting done, and that's on me. That's a me problem. That's not me going, woe is me. That's a me problem. But right now, my focus has to be what's working. What's working is crowdfunding, and I do have on sort of the backside of things, and Arctic Press is now taking some of our stuff that we have done previously, and they're going to start publishing our books through Antarctic Press next year. So we're going to see what the result for that is. If that drives traffic. Yep, Henri, what's going on, man?
What's up, man?
If that drives traffic to Big Dog Inc. and crowdfunding, over the first quarter of the year, after the first 3 or 4 issues are out, we'll know if there's really an effect, right? Because that's an immediate effect if we can see it. And if there isn't, when does the effect happen, if ever? And then we kind of just test the waters a little bit. So that's like I said at the beginning, is we're not against this. We are going to be doing some stuff. I'm really excited that Antarctic Press is interested to do this and take some of our stuff and put it out. So thanks to Ben Dunn, because he's been great with this whole process. So I am excited to get back into comic book stores and see where we are in sort of a small capacity, at least.
That's a good way for some people to do it. You're piggybacking on the established product to get into the store, and I don't want to say backdoor pilot, right? But you're finding a way to minimize the amount of effort you're putting into it, because you're not calling the 400 stores. Right. You're going in through that established entity, right?
Right.
And you'll track those numbers. So, like you said, if those work out, that's a way to go about it in the future. And hopefully you can make up for it in volume, what you'd be losing in the margin with a Kickstarter or crowdfunding campaign.
Right. Well, and the thing for this also is that they're going to be reprinting the stuff that already exists. So there's no cost to either of us. Well, I mean, there's printing costs, but they're coming at it as Antarctic Press has this idea where it's like, hey, these guys that have been doing just like we talked about, right? These guys that have been doing crowdfunding, they have these existing series, they have multiple issues done, multiple arcs, whatever. We can come in and say, look, give me that first story arc, those 5 issues. We'll publish it and we'll put it out into the market. And here's the percentage that you guys will get on the back end for sales. And, you'll get more eyeballs on who you are and what you do. And that might track to further sales down the line. It's the Brian Pulido method. Brian Pulido came out, hadn't been published for a while, put Lady Death on Kickstarter for 2 years, was not in stores, just Kickstarter for 2 years, built that up to a point. I think it was at the time he had like 800 backers or something. Then he went back into Diamond, didn't do anything new. He just took his existing Kickstarter stuff and said, well, here's where we started 2 years ago. We're going to give you that. And all of a sudden there was a spike in his next Kickstarter, because people realized, oh my God, Brian's still around. Like, what's going on? Right. And so all of a sudden spike. And there it is. So that's what I talked about at the beginning. The direct market is a very good marketing tool. As long as you understand that you might only be sort of breaking even on that methodology, as long as it's taking those customers and driving them to your web store or eBay or Kick crowdfunding or whatever, as long as the direct market is driving them to you, social media, then it has absolute value.
All right, cool. Jay, you're up. You look depressed. Go ahead, bro.
No, I Frank and Tom are bringing up such great stuff. I'm like, here's that going. But since you're allowing me to interject, all right. So we're talking about running lean here. All right, smaller operations. One to, if anything, how many people got a 5-person team rolling with them here? Anybody? No. Okay.
No, not really.
So how much of your day, your week, your schedule is devoted to creating new content, and how much of that time is dedicated to putting the book out there, whether it's calling shops, whether it's doing the marketing? How do you balance that time? How do you manage that time to keep the gears greased?
Nice. All right, Randy, you're up, sir.
I don't have enough time in the day to work on my own stuff. It's just that simple. So there's everything else going on all around. Arrow is really a conglomerate of individual creators that have their own products, their own books. They're able to do their own marketing and get out there in front of folks. And we just all get together, share the store, and promote each other's crowdfunders. Okay. You know, but there's never enough time in the day, like Tom said, when he's not doing something, or when he's doing something, there's something else he's not doing.
Right.
And it costs you. You just have to sit there and keep plugging away and keep doing the work.
Yeah,
So
it's prioritizing, right?
Yes.
It's figuring out what has to happen today, regardless of what you want to happen today. Like, is today writing day? Cool, we're going to do writing today. Is today shipping day? We're going to do shipping today. If it's a little bit of both, then awesome. So for me, I try and sit down and do at least 5 pages a day from a writing standpoint. But that doesn't happen. That's not even realistic. I write. I am always writing. Like, even when I'm shipping, I'm writing, because I'm just writing in my brain. You know, so that's happening. But it doesn't get to the page maybe until, you know, next Monday, and then everything that I did goes and it's out on the page. But yeah, it's basically just figuring out what is today, guys. I have one person, it's me, and I have to figure out what it's going to be. And I have to always remember that, you know, from 10 to midnight every day, I watch a movie to put myself asleep. So there's 2 hours out of the day that, you know, I have to shut down as well. So yeah, it's tough. It's really tough. And then if you're doing cons and you're running around, it's like,
let me call a TV time on that. Hold on a second, because I sent a little bit of a bullshit-itis. Because last time you were talking about these long walks on the lake.
That's how you wake up. Yeah. And that's when I'm writing. That's when I'm writing. Yeah. Yeah. I get up every morning. I do about an hour and a half walk. And while I'm doing that, I'm figuring out, when I'm done, what is the day? Okay, I'm going to get home. I'm going to do shipping today. I'm going to write today. I'm going to do social media nonsense today. God damn, I'm doing TikTok now. Like, God help me, I'm doing TikTok now. So, you know, that's it. It's just prioritize the day and decide what you want that day to sort of focus on. And then, you know, obviously put out whatever fires are required that pop up throughout the day. You know, art direction and stuff happens like 24/7, because I work with people around the world. I could literally be just laying in bed, like, it's time to go to bed. Ding, here's a page for you. Well, I guess I'm editing art right now. So, yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Frank, how's it work out for you?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I don't have a whole lot of time to devote to creatively when if there's publishing. There's so much to do with shipping, doing Kickstarters. Like, I'm constantly running Kickstarters or fulfilling them or shipping wholesale orders. So I you know, you try to fit it in at the end of a 12-hour day, or try to get up early, try to be creative when you're fresh. But when you're publishing, yeah, there's a lot of time that the business end of it takes, you know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Fair enough. Marvin?
Do I look like I sleep at all?
You're sleeping right now.
Am I?
He just pulls out his back, cover his eyes.
Yeah.
You go.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, it's always going to be the problem that you have, especially when you have a 9 to 5, finding that those extra hours to get things done. I mean, you have to put that time in. So it'll be 3 to 4 hours a day, and then try to get some sleep. But like Tom says, that I just turn on Tubi, and it's my favorite streaming service, because it loads up another movie after it's done with the one it's playing. Just picks one at random, so then I don't have to press the button. I just put it on and I fall asleep. So.
Nice.
I'm like that with YouTube. So,
all right. For myself, I usually block out from 11 to like 2 o'clock in the morning, and that's usually my time to work. So that's usually what it is for me on a daily basis. So I just get in there, and whatever needs to be done. Some days is lettering, some days is writing. Usually I'm writing on the trains back and forth to work. But when I get home, it's lettering, dealing with artists, putting together Kickstarters, packaging books. I mean, whatever needs to be done, it gets done.
So you don't sleep then, right? No sleep for you.
Lots of spiral books. Yeah.
Well, you know, I mean, from usually after 3 o'clock in the morning, 3 a.m. That's nappy
So
time.
like 3 or 4 hours then, right?
Goddamn.
No, I get it. I usually get in 5 or 6.
Okay.
So, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's, you have to get in as much time as you can. Like I said, writing on the trains for me is a huge boom, because I get to sit there and, usually, most people are on their phones, playing some idiot fucking Candy Crush or some other garbage. I'm sitting there with a little pad and I'm writing.
You should be going on that train with comics in your bag, and as soon as someone pulls out their phone to play a game, you give them a comic. Like, no, dummy, here, read this.
Nah, they'd have to.
You should be marketing on the train.
They should be handing me $5 first. But
you just take it back when they get off. You're like, give me it back now.
Yeah. No, what's funny is one of the things that I'm gonna try next time I go to Disney World. I wear my Oswald shirts to Disney World, and the cast members always stop me. And sometimes I'll get other casual people stop me, and they'll be like, "Oh, that's really cool. Where'd you get that from?" or whatever. I have to start carrying around like a trading card with their QR code and just start handing those out. Just right here, boom, just go to the damn website. Pick one up for yourself.
Just get a shirt with the QR code on the back of it. You just turn around.
Yeah, that's right. Or maybe on my shoulder.
You're giving me ideas, kid. So we're in New York, right? The capital of the world. We got New York Comic Con coming up in 3 months. Those kids that are dancing on the train, showtime, showtime, showtime. I'm going to start giving them my T-shirts so they can wear it while they're dancing. You know what I mean? It's synergy going on right there. They get a little show before they go to the con. I love it.
Nice. So Jay, you didn't answer your own question. When you work?
I'm going with Tom. It's whatever fire has to be put out that day, right? I write during the day. I keep the earpiece in my ear, and it's just like whenever an idea comes about, Siri, take a note. And then on the days off, I'm still getting up because I still have a 9 to 5. I'm getting up the same time, 5 hours before anybody else does. And that's when I start to put together my writing, right? So that's my second draft of story editing. Other than that, it's all times of the day. Yeah, in the middle of the night, I'm getting ding, ding, pages coming in. And it's just whatever second you have, even it's weird, dude. Sometimes I'm in the car with my wife and she's like, "Oh my God, I could smell the gears burning in your head right now," because I'm just so spaced out. And I'm like, blue skying all day. So no, it's whatever fire needs to be put out. I have a plan. I try to achieve that plan, but it gets sidetracked almost every day.
Gotcha. All right, cool enough. Let's pull this up. Here we go. Fearless Dawn.
Nice.
Very nice. Frank, you want me to play this video?
Sure. Yeah, this is for Fearless Dawn, The Bomb 2 and 3. This is our current Kickstarter. You can catch up and get Fearless Dawn number 1, but sure, play the video. Hey everybody, Frank Forte here from Asylum Press, and welcome to the latest Kickstarter for Steve Mannion's Fearless Dawn, The Bomb, number 2 and number 3. You're helping to crowdfund the second and third chapters of the action-packed origin of Fearless Dawn. Issue number 2 features Prissy Jones in her first bona fide adventure. An unlikely friendship develops between Prissy and the bully Betty McGillicuddy, and the stage is set for the rest of the Pop Boiler series. Fearless Dawn, The Bomb number 2 features numerous variant covers as well as exclusive Kickstarter variants. You can purchase them all together or a la carte. Also on this campaign is Fearless Dawn, The Bomb number 3. Prissy Jones and Betty continue their frolics in their first bona fide adventure, battling the evil menaces on the home front. Hell-bent on revenge, the general busts out of Newburgh prison and heads straight for Fearless Dawn. Who will survive the inevitable showdown? Each issue features numerous variant covers, including sketch covers, retro covers, virgin watercolor covers, virgin pencil covers, and virgin metal covers, available exclusively here on Kickstarter. This is an amazing opportunity to get in on the ground floor and help fund Steve Mannion's Fearless Dawn. If you're unfamiliar with Steve Mannion's Fearless Dawn, The Bomb is a great jumping on point as it tells her origin story and introduces the characters, her friends, the environments, the villains, and the world. Fearless Dawn is a fun, thrilling, and action-packed comic book by indie comic book creator Steve Mannion. This is a unique creator-owned series by a cartoonist that loves the comic book medium. In addition to the rewards, we also have an amazing set of add-ons. You can catch up on the Fearless Dawn saga by ordering back issues and other rare items, issues, posters, and merchandise from the Asylum Press vault. Other add-ons include back issues of Vampire Macabre, Warlash, Zombie Terrors, and Vampires. Thank you for checking out Fearless Dawn, The Bomb, number 2 and number 3. Pledge now to help be part of this amazing comic book creation. Not all.
Frank, I gotta say, I appreciate your end card to finish up the video. I like how you utilize that. Some people, especially on this panel, who like to host things like this, do not know how to utilize an end card. But you know,
Right.
I mean,
It's just like basic YouTube stuff, you know.
Yeah.
They always call for that. That's kind of where I got started doing that.
Yep. We're gonna go through a number of campaigns. We might be one short though.
Uh-oh.
I'm just saying.
oh,
Yeah, but hold on. Where are we? All right. So, all right, you already met your goal. You're at 119 backers. You got 14 days. So, all right. So you guys are doing great. So,
Yeah, and we're trying to do now that you can have multiple Kickstarters running while you're in fulfillment. We already have another Kickstarter that's in fulfillment, so we ran this one. I think the amount is down a little bit from the other one, so we're kind of curious, like, will people that back the other one back this one before the other one is even fulfilled? But we're trying to fulfill it like this month so that people could get their books and then get this one. So we're trying to fulfill and do Kickstarters more frequently. But yeah, that's an interesting thing, because I know Brian Polito has one running while one's in fulfillment. You know, will your backers like back 1, 2, maybe 3 before they even get one? So we're trying to find that out.
gotcha.
well, you got a good track record, don't you, Frank? How
Yeah,
many?
no,
have
we've
you
done like
done so far?
I've done like 6, I think, and then 3 others under my own name. So yeah, we always fulfill. We haven't burned anyone yet. So
Good.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Personally, as a purchaser, I don't know how many. I'm a super backer, as they say. As one of those, I actually like getting my stuff before I.
right. No, I know,
Pledge.
and that's true. And then maybe if we do like this book, and then our next book is like a completely different one, like a vampire book or a zombie book, it's going to appeal to a different audience, so
Right.
it won't affect the sales. Where this is The Bomb number 2, which is going right after The Bomb number 1. Maybe those people are like, well, I don't want to support it till I get the other one. So we'll see. It's a learning experience, because you really want to be able to have multiple Kickstarters in fulfillment, at the same time, because, as comic book publishers, you want to keep putting books out. And if it takes 4 months to run and fulfill a Kickstarter, you can't be putting a book out every 4 months. You have to have a way of doing this more frequently.
Yeah, I think Tyler from Comics Pro.
Yeah, right. Comics Tribe, right?
Yes, Comics Tribe.
Yeah.
Yes, he was trying to do. What did we do? Bi-monthly? I think he was killing himself.
Was he? Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was killing himself. Like he was trying to line up his Kickstarters with his diamond releases.
You're
And
right.
I think, yeah, and he was. I think he. I don't think he enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's a lot to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah. These. Yeah. I mean, you know, Steve's stuff is incredible. So I mean,
It's got a great fan base,
Right.
you know. And,
Yeah.
you know, and then we put all the backstock in there. So another thing that I do, and this takes a long time, is sometimes I'll have 50 to 100 add-ons. And I just, after doing that, I realized, I don't know if you guys realize this, there's a limit to 100 add-ons on Kickstarter. Once you hit 100, you can't add any more. They start pushing them down the list, I guess. And I emailed them about it. I don't even think they realized it because I don't know how many people put 100 add-ons, but it adds so much to our bottom line that we just put our entire backstock on there. And then Backer Kit 2, I think I have like 250 items on my Backer Kit store. So now I just link that at the end of the campaign. Then we'll do another 2,000 on Backer Kit.
nice. So well, obviously you find Backer Kit is worth it then to invest in.
If I could do like 2,000, I think so. It just takes a long time because you have to rebuild the campaign. But now that I have like my storefront there with like 250 items, it's more a matter of connecting them. So it goes a little bit quicker, and Backer Kit helps out. So I just like to have my whole backstock in a storefront ready to go to get some extra money in there, you know.
Cool. Very nice. Let's see, you got 119 backers, you got 14 days.
But that's the thing too that you guys are bringing up, right? I could sell 3,000 to 6,000 in comic shops, but as an indie publisher, the last one we did was 260. Maybe I'll max out at like 500. Like, but even to do 1,000 backers as an indie, that's tough. I feel.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Tom? What's your max backer number on Kickstarter?
Our max was something like 630.
That's
something
awesome.
like that. But
It's really
you know,
good.
we average around 400.
That's
God
still
damn it,
really
yeah.
good. That's still really awesome because we're after like 6 of them and still at like 260. So that's a great number.
I haven't even broke 200.
Yeah.
Me too. So, you know, you guys in that rarefied air, nice.
Goddamn elitists.
Listen,
I appreciate you spending time with plebeians like us. Thank you so much. You know.
yes, the plebs love you.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see who else we got up. Oh, here we go. I'll put this one up real quick. So this is Daphne's campaign. This is my wife. This is Ego Raver Air, the first unicorn. I always say last unicorn. Damn movie. But yeah, go check this one out. But this is all I'm going to show of it. So the link is in the show notes. Go check it out.
Don't do that.
What are you talking about? It's not
Don't
fucked
do
up.
that to her.
Shut up. You don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh my God.
Hold on. Here, I'm gonna put this one up. I don't know why though. Start talking,
Oh,
Jay.
yeah,
It's your minute.
Nice.
Yeah, boy. All right, so this is Limbo Open Almost All Eternity, number 1 and 2. This is the second issue of the series. We're looking to raise the funds to print up issue number 2. We printed up issue number 1. So that is ready to go. Why don't you play the video, Calderon? Play the video.
I would if there was one.
I don't do videos, baby.
Exactly. Too lazy.
I don't got time to do a video. No, not because I don't want to. I'm just really super busy. So yeah, so we got 4 main covers going out in this book. These are the 4 covers. We just this is actually the first time anybody's seeing cover D, which is the theme of the series. So there are going to be playing card covers, and this one was just announced earlier today. So then if you scroll down, you see these are the creators that illustrated those covers. Then we have the covers for issue number 1, our North American release, our Hellraiser themed, our Colombian original release, our playing card cover, going into what this is about, where we're at with the series so far, why we're making a dark fantasy comic book, where the money is going, if people are wondering. Will there be add-ons? Yes, there are, because we have quite a big catalog. Here are some of our preview pages. If you read the first issue, you know hell froze over at the end because our main character was not taking care of his duties. in hell. So when you're not doing what you got to do, shit falls
Duty.
apart. The duty. I'll go with whatever. I'm not upset. And then the war is going to be taking place. And just announced for the first time, keeping in theme with our lead female protagonist in the story, who is the mistress of lust, Abrahel. We have special naughty variant covers.
Wow, you sold out, man. I can't believe it.
Yeah, seriously, like yeah. Oof.
I know. I'm disappointed in myself. No, then we have our returning backers reward. So it does not matter which book you have supported from us in the past. Anyone who is coming back to us will be getting a special holochrome cover added to their physical rewards only. We don't have frequent flyer miles. We don't have those, you get a 7th coffee for free club, but I can reward anybody who's been supporting us for over 20 crowdfunding campaigns. Thank you so much. So this will be added. And then if it's your first time, you can add it on for an extra $5. This is our digital catalog. So there's a value there. I think there's about 27, 28 books. So it's about almost $90 if it's $3 a book. But the entire digital catalog is running for $60. So you can get everything we got digitally, and it's saving you a couple bucks on shipping, and you get to read a ton of cool fucking books. And then we have our stretch goals. So stretching your money a little bit further, we have right down here on the bottom. You scroll down a little bit more, Mr. Producer.
Yeah, I get to it. I'm ready. Damn it.
So we're doing an advanced sampler. So some of the rewards coming out will be digital content of the next books coming out from Unstoppable Comics in 2024. So if we get to 3,500, then 12 pages, 6 from each of the 2 upcoming books, New York versus the World #3 and Shield of the Interceptor #5, will be added digitally in black and white. If we get to 4,000, there will be another 6 pages from Vicky Sticks issue #2 added to the sampler. And if we get to 4,500, another book called Each Soar, which is a space western, will be added. So that would be 24 pages of brand new content, all in black and white, digitally, going out to both physical and digital backers. And then here's some of our add-on items, like the graphic novels that we constantly have in print. You like? Did I go too fast?
Very cool. No.
It's good.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you. Yes, and we'll go back to the sellout. Yes, the sellout. I've sold out. So those were announced today as well, folks.
Very nice. All right, cool.
And here's something really important, JD. If you go in the chat, Michael DeFonte posted something about getting paid this week to back. Guys, when you're pledged to a Kickstarter, and this is really, really important, you are not paying for the Kickstarter until the Kickstarter is over. So there's really not a reason to wait ever to jump into a Kickstarter, right? And we need as many people as we possibly can, like day 1, 2, 3, to really give it a pop in the algorithms and the popularity. So if it's March 1st and you don't get paid till March 12th, but the campaign ends March 20th, you're fine because you're not going to get charged until the 20th. Yep. So there's a lot of people that really still don't understand that as soon as they pledge, they're not actually getting charged. Right. And it's one of those sort of weird, non-transparent things. It is transparent, like it kind of says it right there. But there's a lot of people that deal with crowdfunding that they're like, oh, well, I can't do it until next week because of my paycheck. It doesn't matter when you come in because you don't get charged until the end of the campaign.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So very nice, Jay. Very nice. So you just got over 1,000, which is good.
Oh, really? Oh, nice.
Yes. Not the, you know, it was good to see you were paying attention.
Yeah.
I'm paying attention to the stream, dude, not the outside stuff.
What are you talking about? I put it on screen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'm reading the comments too. You know?
There he goes. Michael has received my message,
Oh,
and he's
thanks,
off the
Michael.
pledge.
Thank you, Michael.
Nice.
You know what? I think Michael liked the packaging of his last book. He mentioned it in the comments, and I hope that won him over. And that's one thing I think a lot of creators forget is you got to give that full experience. You know.
All right,
Hey, look at
Randy,
there.
do you want me to play this video?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
It's safe. It's all right.
Get ready for an exhilarating journey into the boundless world
It's a
of
monkey.
imagination. Welcome, comic book enthusiasts, to the extraordinary realm of Out of Obscurity. This groundbreaking anthology, published by Arrow Comics, unveils a legion of aspiring creators, each eager to leave their mark on the industry. Prepare to be captivated as they breathe new life into obscure public domain characters, creating their own unique tales within the pages of this awe-inspiring collection. Out of Obscurity is a testament to the unwavering passion and creative prowess of these emerging talents. They have meticulously resurrected forgotten heroes and heroines, spinning intricate yarns that span the ages. Brace yourself for action-packed battles, mind-bending mysteries, and heartwarming triumphs that will transport you to uncharted territories of excitement.
Super
By
old time.
supporting our Fund My Comic campaign, you become an essential part of this historic endeavor. Together, we can catapult these aspiring creators towards their dreams of comic book glory. Join us on this epic odyssey and witness the birth of new legends. Your generous contributions will not only help us bring Out of Obscurity to life, but also grant you access to exclusive rewards, including remarkable artwork, signed copies, and behind-the-scene glimpses. Embrace the spirit of adventure, for within these pages, untold wonders await. Together, let us ignite the spark of greatness within these visionary talents and redefine the landscape of the comic book universe. Be a part of history and make Out of Obscurity a reality.
Nice.
I like that video. I like the grittiness in your voice there, Randy.
Yeah, thanks. It's my monkey. I had no idea I was part of this project until Luke got a hold of me and said, "Hey, I need pictures of your monkey, and I need you to use the monkey as kind of a host for all of the short stories." So he's kind of the thread between all of the all the stories. And then I said, "Well, if we meet our goal, I'll throw a story in there too that I've always wanted to do." And we've met our goal, so the story is going to get done.
Nice. Which
So
story is it?
A lot of fun. It's a story that's going to involve the Golden Age Daredevil and Silver Streak.
Oh, okay.
So
Cool.
something that I've been brewing for quite a few years. So can't wait to sit and do it. Got it. It's one of those stories you got laid out in your head, and it's been aching. It's going to get down on paper eventually anyway. So this is a great place to put it. Plus, this sets up a lot of public domain characters and a lot of talent just to show their stuff off with. There's a Golden Age Daredevil. Spank is a Golden Age Daredevil there. But where I'm really just finished, well, I can't say I finished my part. I adapted a short story for Russ Leach that we're turning into a graphic novel. That'll be one of the next things that Arrow Comics will do a crowdfunder for. And I can't wait for folks to see it. It's just amazing. It's a lot of fun. It's turning out incredibly well. Russ is having a ball with it.
Nice.
Nice. All right. Very nice. All right, you guys are very funded. You got another 10 days to go. So very nice.
10 or so, yeah. Plus, if we hit I'm not sure what the next campaign goal is, but we might actually add an additional cover. All depends on how things are going. How things are going with Luke. Luke's been super busy lately with the Fund My Comic platform and other things. He's been working on comics as well as, running around like 5 more directions than I am. So it's been crazy.
Do you know how many pages it's going to be?
That's looking at 100.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, nice. Okay, cool.
in color. It'll be fun. So yeah, a lot of great characters. Some you know, some you might not know, but all of them in public domain. That the writers get a nice fresh slant on it. Just great, fun, self-contained stories. So it's going to be a good time. I don't know what more I can tell you about it right now. Luke's got a bunch of other stuff planned for it that he'll be doing. Like I said, I was kind of brought into it on an after effect. He's like, "Hey, I can use your monkey." So okay, that's
Nice.
the way that works.
you got to add a little bit more context to that one there, Randy.
Oh well,
Exactly.
my little cartoon monkey. Yeah. And there's more monkey business coming too. I've got a lot of stuff coming up with I got a little angry monkey named Spank and his brain dead cousin Shock that run around and talk about different things.
Right.
There's a lot more on the way. So
Very nice, very nice. I'm just gonna put this up for a moment. The way I did my wipes. This is my campaign currently running. Only I got 50 backers 18 days ago. We're $1,500, so we're doing well. So go check it out. It's in the show notes. The link is there. This is the Oswald Chronicles. This is issues 1 through 4 of I Was There and I Remember. All right. So there you go. So then there we go. Nice,
cool.
Nice and gone. So I don't get any
There
more criticisms. Oh, there you go. Nice. Look at that.
Got some old
Woof.
school.
That's old school. Yes. That's when Brenner was doing a foil stamping. When you could get a book for I think it was with the foil stamping, I think it was 54 cents a book.
Wow.
Oof.
Yeah, Brenner, they're
was
still
great.
around. I talked to Antarctic Press. They're right in San Antonio, I think, where they are. And I think they still print comics, but they're not as big of a player as they used to be in the 90s. We used to use them all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Did they still print? Do they still print comics for anybody?
I don't think so, because Antarctic was their biggest client at one point. I know that.
Yeah, so what happened with Brenner? Did they not want to do comics anymore? Because I'm sure they were printing a lot of them.
I think what happened was they were getting too many adult books being sent their way, and their staff didn't like
No
it. So,
way.
Yeah.
That
I think they were
sucks.
getting too much of that. Yeah, I think And that was a crazy. I was like, what? You could just say you don't want to print adult books and not print adult books.
Yeah.
And just take the rest. You don't have to cut everybody off. Because they were a great system. They delivered directly to Diamond and all the other distributors.
Yeah. No, right.
Back in the day, I didn't have to give them any money up front. I could just show them my invoices. I was like, these are all my invoices.
Right.
They were like, no problem. Boom. And they would just ship it. I would get my checks. I would ship it off. I would pay them.
Like 30 days later, you could pay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
That's wild.
Yeah. It's a beautiful system. Damn it sucks being old. What is it? Michael asks, are the Oswald books all age? I would consider it YA. If your kids can read or look at, I guess, Lord of the Rings, the movies, they'll be fine. It's like that. There's no sex, there's no nudity, there's no foul language, nothing like that. It's just all straight action adventures. So, and then let me pull up. Frank had sent over something for me to pull up, and I'm gonna
just real quick. Just so most of you guys know this, but in case some other indie publishers are out there that don't, you have Diamond Comics distributors that I would suggest using them if you want to get into comic shops. You have Diamond Book Distributors, and that's Diamond's, bookstore distributor. I like them because doing it with Diamond and them makes it easier. So you could get into bookstores and indie bookstores, colleges, libraries, all that stuff with them. You have Lunar too. I personally feel like you should be with Diamond and Lunar. I think you're going to get more orders being non-exclusive and going with both. Another book distributor out there is Indie Publishers Group. And this would be kind of like different from Diamond. If you didn't want to use Diamond Books, you could use IPG. And they're really one of the only bookstore distributors out there that would take you as an indie distributor. Like you only have one book or two books. Like most distributors would be like, well, we want you to at least have 10 titles. IPG will really take like the indie self-publisher and distribute you to bookstores. So they're an alternative to Diamond Books.
Cool.
Comics Mainstream, this is one of the micro distributors I was talking about. So they carry us. They carry a lot of Kickstarter people. They'll carry your T-shirts. These guys will kind of get you into, comic shops, indie places, as well as like some like pot shops and different places that normally don't carry comic books. Comics Distro, they're the other one that's kind of like mainstream. They're in Northern Cali. They do a lot of anime stuff, conventions, but they take a lot of indie books that aren't carried by Diamond or their Kickstarter things, and they'll get your book out there. So I use all these places as well. And if you're thinking about magazines, TNG is one if you want to go the whole magazine route. I mean, it's a little more expensive. You got to print more, but even if you do like 1,000 or 5,000 magazines, they'll take those and put those out. Another distributor real quick is Dispersed. Now, these guys I wouldn't distribute comic books with, but if you want to do like toys, enamel pins, and stickers, like that kind of merch, like here's some of my stuff, Cartoon Creepies. This is stuff that I do, on the side. But if you guys are thinking about, getting rid of your other merch like prints, stickers, or, you want to do toys, Dispersed is really one of the only ones that will get your stuff out there. And they'll take you on as a indie person that doesn't have like a, like a name brand thing like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Marvel. You're just doing indie stuff. They'll take you and get you out there. So, that's just kind of some of the stuff that I wanted to bring out there as, alternatives to Distro. And I think, there's Antarctic. They just signed with Comic Distro. And so I think they signed with Comics Mainstream too. So it's kind of cool that there are these micro distributors out there that we can use to get, our books into stores,
Frank, I noticed you left out Fair. Remember last time you were talking about
Fair. Okay, right. So
or no?
FAIRE.com. This is kind of a do-it-your-own. Let me see if I could get their homepage up. I'm in their thing right now, but yeah, Fair is. If you guys could call it up, I'm signed in, so I got to actually sign out. Let me log out. So here's Fair.com. Fair.com is like an online distributor, and if you have, comics or anything, stickers, prints, T-shirts, you can put this stuff up there, and you'll get out to, I don't know how many they have, maybe 20, 30,000 retail locations all over the world that will buy anything from, cards, stickers, jewelry, right? There's a lot of, I guess you could say greeting card places, just gift shops, indie gift shops, eclectic stores all over the place. And there's a lot of wellness stuff on here, but believe me, I sold probably in the past 3 years, maybe $10,000 worth of stuff wholesale, whether it's comics, stickers, prints, T-shirts, leftover stuff. There are stores out there that will, they'll buy it. They'll buy your stuff. I mean, you got to sell it for 50% off. It's a wholesale thing, but you're getting your product into these eclectic stores that, you might not, maybe they don't use Diamond or Lunar, but they want something different. They want a horror book or a weird sticker, a print or something, and you'll sell stuff.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. What is it? One of the other distributors you showed, damn it. I know they will do trades.
Who's that?
Dispersed.
Oh, Dispersed, right? What about him?
I've seen them sell. I've seen a couple of companies on there selling trades.
Yeah, they will take trade paperbacks, but they want an exclusive deal. So I think if you're with Diamond and stuff, you don't really want to. I wouldn't want to be exclusive. With
anyone.
I'd rather be direct with Diamond. So I would say offer disperse like your other stuff, like, toys, vinyl toys, stickers, prints, T-shirts, enamel pins. But say you just want to keep the books direct to Diamond and Lunar. They don't really take that many books anyway, but they will take it if like you have it.
Right.
But I
I'm
think
just saying
you get a better distribution with Diamond and stuff.
Yeah, it's just that I've seen. I'm on their mailing list, so I get their thing every day. So
Right.
I've seen other publishers on there.
Right, you will see some publishers on there. I just don't know their reach to comic shops. That's all.
Gotcha.
I think all comic shops can order from them, and we try to promote it, but it's not like you're going to get the Diamond pre-orders. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to sell enamel pins, stickers, toys, they have a big retailer base for that stuff.
Gotcha. Very nice.
But just another way for indie publishers to, get their book out there and get some help with the distro,
Gotcha. All right, cool. Marvin,
So,
you're up, sir. What's your question?
what's my question?
Yes,
Am I supposed to
sir.
ask questions today?
Yeah, man. You're the Coco host, sir. You're the Coco host. And to Michael, before you start, Michael, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, sir.
Very much.
Michael's coming on strong these last few weeks, man. Way to be, Michael. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
So do you want to share that link for Comics Pro? I'll just base my question.
Yes. I will do that.
So I did ping a bunch of people directly. I don't know if I hit everyone, but if you want to pull that up. So Comics Pro, if you are not familiar, is the retail summit. They've kind of replaced Diamond's retail summit. Diamond was going to have their retail summit the same time as Comics Pro, is usually in February, and they canceled theirs because of Comics Pro. This is where all the information is being kept. So I would say those 300 stores that I reference are usually at the Comics Pro show. I don't know where it's going to be at next year. They were talking about having it here in Pittsburgh again, but it's still unknown. This year, they didn't make the date until November. So there is going to be an open house on October 5th where you can register to talk to retailers. So this is online. So it'll give people an opportunity, if they're interested in going through distribution, of getting in front of those retailers and trying to talk about your product. So if you click that link right there's a form. So I guess my question would be is that since I'm the only one who attended, as far as I know, do you think like something like this is useful overall? Like, is it useful to have a yearly summit that would have creators, retailers, publishers, distributors in one area? Because this is what happened at Comics World. Everybody in one room together and talking through these things and figuring out the best way forward, not just for everyone, but anyone who is interested in moving forward. Because earlier we talked about stores not knowing business, and this is what Comics Pro does help with. They help with that business side also. So there are stores that aren't involved. I mean, there is a fee for retailers to get involved, but of course, they have to keep their lights on and everything too. But to me, this is important, and it's something that will help push things forward because you're getting their attention fully to these retailers. We talked to every retailer that was at this event. And we got good advice, we got bad advice, and I think that it helped us moving forward with distribution was being able to communicate in person with these people.
Yeah, and how many? I signed up for this actually just recently to do a little talk. I think you get 10 or 15 minutes, and maybe you upload a video or something. I don't know, but I think it's definitely worth it. Whether you're selling direct or selling through distributors, you've got to figure out a way to break through and get to these retailers. Now, Marvin, when you contacted these 300 retailers, do you think you saw pre-orders go up through Diamond, or were you also trying to sell direct? Like, was your goal to get, Diamond pre-orders up or to get direct sales?
I gave them options, only because you got most of you are in that Plan C group on Facebook, right?
The FOC group? Yeah, I'm in that group.
But it's the Plan C group, the one that sprung up during COVID when Diamond shut down.
Oh, Plan C. I don't know if I'm
Jen
in
King
that.
came up with
Jen King's started the group.
Okay, Plan C.
Yeah.
Now, can a publisher go in there?
What's it? Say it again.
Can a publisher be part of that? Because I was
yeah. Most of us are in there, as far as I know. I mean, I can have her invite you to it. Like it's a private group. So when that group sprung up, there was a mad rush for anyone who had product, and we made a lot of sales.
Oh shit! I wish
during that time, and we built relationships with those stores. So that's actually how the list that I created came from that group, from just thinking those stores through that group, and then just I keep a spreadsheet of stores, and most of the time I update it when I can. It's not as being updated as much as I'd like to, because a bunch of stores on our list have closed.
Right.
I'm constantly trying to keep updated on what's closed, what's open, new stores that spring up, and then what my kind of communication is with these stores, whether they want to be emailed, they want to be phoned, and things like that. But I think that we're in a mode of, like you said, like the internet has opened doors that were originally closed.
Yeah.
And now that we have we have this door with this Comics Pro thing, we have the ear of these retailers. And not only that, but the publishers also. So Marvel, DC, Boom, Image are at these meetings too. And you get to talk to them about the things that they're doing. Like we sat down with CB Sobleski from Marvel for a little while and talked to him about stuff, and was able to pass some books along to him also.
Right. I'm trying to look this up. It's Plan C. There's a bunch of Plan C's.
I think it's hidden, so that you have to be in.
Oh, it's hidden. Right. Okay.
I'll just like after we're done here, I'll message her.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
No, yeah, I think that's a good idea to contact retailers and let them know what you're doing. I mean, we have a list. We send out a email blast every month, and we try to get retailers, to order direct, where we just have a code, like on our website. I have a 50% off free shipping code, so they can just go up there when they want and place orders for whatever. So I
don't think I answered your whole question. So I do both. I'm looking, for both, as far as you can order from Diamond, you can order from me directly.
Right.
But a few stores have told me that they would prefer to go direct.
Direct. Yeah, right. So yeah, it's not a problem. They could order Diamond and they could order direct from publishers. I think stores that are into it, they'll do that. They don't mind,
Right. I mean, like I said, a lot of stores don't want to deal with the distributors on certain books, and they've realized that they want to help me out. So they know that if they order direct, they'll make more. I'll get more of that money from that sale than I will.
Yeah, right.
Distribution.
Marvin, can I ask you something, capping on tagging on to what you just mentioned, the ones that reach out to you directly. Do you find that those local shops that reach out to you directly have better inclination on selling, have a better setup on selling independent comics to their customers?
Right. So what I've found out is that a lot of stores kind of separate their books. So you've got Marvel, you got the Marvel row, the DC row, then the Indy row. Everything's together. A lot of stores just everything is alphabetical order. Doesn't matter what publisher it's from. And in that kind of instance, I feel that more people are going to be willing to get eyes on something they've never seen before. If everything is together, it's not separated by, because if I'm coming in, I'm only looking for X-Men, I'm going to stop at Marvel and not go any further.
Right. And, if you go to any supermarket, pharmacy, even a Blockbuster, it wasn't separated by company, It's not all Sony, not all Paramount, right? Not all MGM. You have your main product, and then you would have your generic, right?
Mhm.
You'd have your Coke, your Pepsi, and your RC Cola,
Right.
right?
But then you have
don't
a lot of
separate them.
retailers who are pushing things of, if you like this, you'll like this.
Right.
And they're actively trying to move those indie books because they believe in it and they believe in the person. So I mean, it's the same thing as like when you're on these kind of shows and you're not only selling your product, but you're selling yourself. You're selling your personality. And a lot of those guys get behind that and they say, oh man, I really like this guy. I really want his product to do well, so I'm going to push it as hard as I can. Like there's a lot of those retailers out there that are very friendly like that. I talk to them all the time, and they're like, "Man, we want to help you." So I mean,
right. That's Tom mentioned this earlier. If you're waving my flag, I'm going to push for you.
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't I? And we, as independent creators, independent publishers, we're willing to go that extra mile and then some that the bigger companies won't do.
Right. And that's what I was saying before, is that when the store says that, hey, communication is important to me, I don't get any communication from the big two, the big three, because it's not to their benefit to call my store and want to talk to me about the 100 books they just read. All they want to do is push their top titles and then sprinkle in a few in there. That's why, like, Aftershock and their program that they were doing was good for them, because I think their sales were up 15% in stores that they had ambassadors at.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So
whenever
Marvin,
anybody's evangelizing your product, there's going to be a boost.
Marvin, you said something interesting. You said you had some good advice and some bad advice. Could you give me one and one?
One and one, sure. So good advice was keep those communication lines open. Mm-hmm. Bad advice: Kickstarters don't sell in my store. Indie books don't sell in my store. That's on you. That's if you carry a product in your store and it doesn't sell, that's on the person who's running that store. No one should walk into a store and say, "Hey, I want only this." It's your job to sell them everything you have. It's like using the grocery store as an example. This is why they continuously move, like they remodel grocery stores and move things around. So you have to walk around the store to find those things, and you'll pick up something else on your way.
Right.
This is why when you're checking out, there's quick, fast items right there for you to look at while you're standing in line. So you say, "Man, I really want some Mrs. Fields cookies now because I'm sitting here staring at it."
Right. So Marvin, the adage you're referring to is you keep the milk in the back of the store.
Yes.
Right? Because people are going to come to the store no matter what to find the milk. Mm-hmm. And on the way to the milk, that's two opportunities, going and coming, to pass by all the other products that are in the store.
I'll tell you guys something crazy. This won't make any sense to you, but this is exactly what I did. Number one, Marvin, you're right. I love the alphabetizing idea. I've always wanted things alphabetized. And I think that's the best way to do it. But when you are in a store that separates things, it just is what it is. So when I was working at Jesse James Comics a few years ago, he has a huge store, and it was something like, I don't know, 8,000 square feet at the front. And then there was a couple of little like side rooms or whatever that we just kind of put stuff in. I came to him one time and I said, "Look, Jesse, I want to take everything that's Marvel and DC. I want to take it off the floor. I don't want it on the front floor. I want Marvel and DC in their own separate rooms in the back. And everything in front, we're going to reorganize and reset so that everything up front is indies. Even if it's big indies, Boom, whatever. Like everything indie is in front, and everything Marvel and DC is off the floor. I don't want to see it." And he thought about it for about a minute, and he was like, "That's brilliant. Do it." And so within 3 days, I had stripped the store Marvel and DC, set them up in their back rooms, rebuilt the entire front, and a number of things happened. One, Marvel and DC buyers thought this was the greatest fucking thing they've ever seen because they got their own room. They were like, "Yay, Marvel and DC got their own room. That's so cool, man." But like Jay just said, they have to walk through the store to get to where they were going. So at every turn that they were making at all the tables that we had, it was Boom and Scout and this and that and everything. And it was wildly successful in upselling indie stuff, even whether it was Image or whatever. Like it was wildly successful. And this is one of those things that retailers just don't get as a whole, in the larger sense. is that if you promote this stuff, and this doesn't mean you have to carry everything. Don't get crazy here. It doesn't mean you have to carry everything. But if you have something that you like, and you're like, I think my customers will like this, freaking promote it and tell these people, I think you're going to like this book, and I'm giving it prime space, and this is why. You are going to have a better chance of selling those books. But if you're just like, well, Marvel's here and DC's here and Indies are back there, you're dead.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, look, for the longest time, Indie Comics has been roughly 30% of the market, right?
Right.
Well, however you break up that strata between Image, Dark Horse, and all those other companies and the rest of us, right? It's been about 30%. 30%, if you're just thinking of your weekly income, is a decent amount of money. You know, and that's the one thing they don't see is like if they're making $100,000 a year, an extra $30K is something. That might be their rent for the year, you know? And I think that's the part they don't get through their thick skulls sometimes.
All right, let me ask this. In all your everybody here, in all your comic shopping experience, have you ever heard of an equivalent, a comic book equivalent of, do you want fries with that? Right? What is the upsell line? Or have you ever heard of any shop you've ever been to, an upsell line when you get to the counter to pick up extra merchandise?
Would you like bags and boards with that?
I've never heard an upsell line, but I have definitely seen stores upsell books. So if someone's going through and they're like, you know, they're ding, 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 ding. Oh, you like Lady Death? Hey, did you see the new Zenoscope? Whatever, you know, whatever they think connects, right? There are store owners that get it. They know how to upsell. They know how to connect what they're looking at. You like G.I. Joe? Do you know they cross over with the Transformers every now and then? Like, people get it. But again, most of the people are either too scared to have an opinion, like, oh my God, an opinion, you know, this guy might think that I don't know what I'm talking about, or they just don't know, or they just don't care. They just want that money. Hey, I got about $50 here. Ding, 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 ding. Give me $50. Buy.
Or they don't know their customers.
Also true. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, even without knowing your customer, if they just bought Transformers, you can probably sell them on something that's tangential. There's Thundercats, there's ROM, there's all these other things that might exist that this guy might not know. So just from that stack of comics, you have information that you should be able to say, you should probably try this.
Right. Well, I've known retailers to drop things in people's bags that or their pull box that they might like. I've seen them do that, where they say that, oh, you like all this, so I'm pretty sure you're gonna like this, so I've added that to your pull box if it's okay. But like you said, is that it's still communication. Like, why would you? No one should be afraid to communicate something to someone, no matter what it is they're trying to sell. Like, it's you're trying to sell something to someone that someone's going to like you said, like, it's still the grocery store example. Like, if you like milk, you might like chocolate milk. If you like that cereal, you'll like this cereal. And they have those tags sometimes in the grocery stores. Hey, try this new thing that we have that just came out. Or like the grocery store I used to go to, they used to discount things because they were phasing it out. Say that we're not ordering no more of this. It's we're phasing it out. It was discounted, so get it out of here, or we're just going to toss it.
Yeah, I remember when Paper Girls #1 came out, and I was working at Jesse's shop at the time, and dude bought 1,000 copies of Paper Girls #1, and he had an entire table just like, here's Paper Girls. You need this book. He was taking pictures of himself for social media, like he was a newspaper seller kid, like, hey, I got your Paper Girl, you know, that kind of stuff. He sold goddamn near all of them in the first month of the release. So again, it's the power of, you know, most people when they come into a store, especially if they've been going there for a long time, they trust the dude's opinion. Now, if you're a Marvel zombie or a DC, whatever the equivalent is, it's going to be hard to get you to buy Paper Girls, right? I get it. But if you are a store owner, you need to be cultivating an audience as best you can of you know, people who are like, yeah, I like vampires. That doesn't mean I need to read Blade. Like, what else do you have? You know, and if you can do that, you start swinging the doors open to monumental amounts of product that you could be selling as on the side, in addition to you know, whatever Marvel and DC do.
And especially if it's a local creator, you can say, hey, that
Yeah.
guy lives nearby. Maybe we
Sure.
can get him down here and he can
Yep.
sign your book.
Right.
Like I'm calling him right now. He's on his way.
So,
So,
Tom,
Randy,
do you think too much folks are following the marketing trend, right? Or the analytics,
Mhm.
as opposed to knowing their customers. Like I asked, I remember hearing an interview with, oh my God, the big shop in Chicago.
Graham
Graham
crackers.
crackers.
Okay, not Challengers.
Well, Graham crackers
Challengers
is the
is
big
there too,
change. Yeah.
Yeah.
Graham crackers is like the 9 chain.
There are
Okay, so
franchise.
stores over there.
either one of those two. I remember hearing an interview when he was saying that there was a point he would automatically order 50 copies of any image book #1 that was coming out because he knew it was going to sell, right? That's his analytics. That's his paying attention to his business. He's at a point now where he's only buying for the pull list. He's not even buying to put on the shelf.
Yeah.
So how does
I mean, yeah, that's terrible.
come to a decision like that?
That's
I mean,
sad.
It's terrible, and it's also bad that that's a bigger chain. Like, why is that happening with a chain like that? And how can we reverse it or stop it? I don't know. Maybe it's just the economy. I mean, that's not a good sign.
And he
Well,
sits there and
in the
his head and wonders why his comic sales are down.
In the Graham crackers example, assuming we're talking about those guys, there's one shop out of all of the 7 or 9 or whatever's left that is the primary indie spot. And basically, if a store buys indies and they don't sell, all those indie books get shipped down to the other store because that store, the guy that runs that particular one, he can push the indies. So again, you're coming back to retail store owners or managers or whatever is the case that don't understand the marketing and how to upsell and push and move a book into somebody's pile based on what they're already buying. They made the decision, we're not going to overbuy, or maybe we were used to buy 10 and now we're just going to buy for the pull list because we can't sell them here. Well, why can't you sell them here? Now, in some cases, that's just what it is. I mean, it literally is what it is, and you can't force people to come in and say, I don't want Spider-Man. What else do you have? But most people that I've seen in comics that go into a store, they're open to somebody saying, if you like this, if you like Buffy, you might like whatever this is. And if you're not doing that, if you're just putting stuff on the shelf and expecting people to come in and find it, that's where you're going to start seeing contraction.
Those employees are incredibly rare that are able to do that. When I was working retail, we would always take Wednesday night, one copy of everything, came home. There was a central house that everybody met at just up the street from where the shop was. We read everything that come out that week so that we'd be able to know if a customer come up and, like you said, found, X-Men or whatever. That back then I sold the hell out of Teen Titans that way.
Yeah.
Because it was so easy to do. You like X-Men, you're going to love this. This is great stuff. But those kind of, you find that employee that puts that sparkle in his eye and they have the same excitement about comics as the customer coming in. Incredibly rare to find, but their sales go right through the roof because they're able to say, oh, you like horror and you're going to need this comic. Right. You like superheroes. This is a great superhero book. Some of the stores, there was one store in Lansing in particular, all the employees would pick their best comic of the week and they put it on in sleeves up above the counter so that everybody walking in could see whose picks liked what for the week.
That's
right. They sold more of that book than what they ever did, everything that comes, that came in. There's a lot of different marketing tools that they could do. They just have to figure it out and do it and make it fun. That's the whole key thing. People are going into those shops to have fun, to be entertained. And when you find that employee that's bouncing around, helping everybody else out, putting books in their hands and going, you're going to love this, and then run into the next guy and going, you're going to love that. Those employees just help sales like you wouldn't believe. Just incredible.
Another problem I think we have as indie guys is trying to fulfill reorders. It's easy to get those pre-orders from Diamond and Lunar, But when you try to get reorders, even though I have stuff in stock at Diamond and Lunar, a retailer will go on their site and go, it's out of stock, or I can't order it. And then Diamond will say, well, it is in stock. They just tell them they can order it. And they'll go back and go, nope, it says it's out of stock. And it just drives me crazy. So for reorders, I've kind of come to the point of I have to do it. But I would really like to keep the books in stock. But I think that's a matter of constantly sending out orders. Hey, did you sell out? Do you want to order 5 more? Do you want to order 10 more? To keep those books on that rack, because once they sell out, then they're gone. Then you're not in the stores anymore.
Yeah.
I guess, Marvin, for you, do you, like, of those 300 stores, how many stores do you have that are ordering, and how many stores are ordering, like, consistently? Like, they sell out, they reorder, they sell out, they reorder, like, on a regular basis?
Well, most of my reorders are coming direct from me, so it's probably that crescendo between 150 and 200.
You have 150 to 200 comic shops that are ordering direct on a regular basis.
No, so it's in there between 150 for orders, and then the reorders like maybe 50. Maybe
50, right. That's still really good. That's still really good. That 50 are ordering. And yeah, if you can pump that up to, like, over time 100, 150, and then little by little you're selling to all these stores. I mean, that could be, because look, as Tom said, of the 2,500 stores, maybe we will never be in all 2,500, right? Do you? I mean, is that a goal for us, or do we just say maybe the indie stores are the 800 or 1,000? Like, what do you think? Do we push it, or do we just accept that we're never going to be in all those shops?
I think you try it and then you back off, because I've found that no matter how much you offer some of these stores, it's always going to be the book doesn't sell. Indies don't sell here. Indies don't sell. Right. Indies don't sell here.
Right.
Continuously, and I'm like, okay. I mean, there's anything more you can do with that? It's like trying to be in a relationship with somebody that doesn't want anything to do with you. No,
exactly what it's like.
I got this really good book. No, I don't care. So,
like, I think there was that. It was an Excel doc that was going around the most indie friendly stores. I think you guys probably got it. I forget where it came from.
That's my list.
You got it. So I got that through someone. I forget now. I've used it, but I haven't gotten. I should call them direct. I think I was sending emails, but I'm not at the point where I'm selling direct to 100 or 50 stores yet. It's a lot lower than that.
I've found that mostly everyone on the list is call friendly, except for on Wednesdays, of course. Wednesdays and Tuesdays.
Yeah, right. And even Tuesdays. Don't do it on Tuesdays, right? It's more like Thursdays, maybe, or Mondays.
Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays.
Yeah, don't do it Tuesday, Wednesday.
Let me ask. Have given me times to call, so like, hey, call back on Sunday at X.
You guys that do direct to the shops, right? Do you find you have to incorporate an MOQ, a minimum order quantity, if you're going to be sending them free shipping, or you're like, okay, you want 2 copies? I'll send you the 2 copies.
I don't do it. I don't offer the minimum, because sometimes they only want 1 or 2, and if it means I lose a little money on shipping, I just do it. I figure it's worth it, to send out 2 books, and I eat the $5. They pay me the $5. Maybe it's $6 to ship it. To get those 2 people in there and get the store ordering more, I'll just have it as I'll eat it. And not too many stores do that. Most order $50, $100, $150. So for the one store that I'm trying to, get in there, I don't make a minimum.
Okay.
Same way, but in most cases, most of them will say, I'll pay for shipping. Like, it's been very rare that I've gotten pushback on shipping charges. They're like, whatever, we'll pay it.
You too, Tom, or no?
I don't have minimums, but I tell them, look, if you spend $100, it's free shipping. Again, the upsell, right? You want them to go, oh shit, I could save myself $20 or whatever. Plus, for us, it's easy to spend $100 because they're buying variant covers and all that kind of stuff. So it's not just single issue $3 things. So yeah, they can buy whatever they want in whatever quantities they want. But if it's $100 or more, I will cover the shipping.
Right. I just think that it's come down to building that relationship. The more comfortable they are with you, the more they're going to spend.
Well, yeah, I mean, somebody emailed me, messaged me on Facebook out of the blue from Florida, and they were like, "Hey, we do, we're not a store, but we do like conventions and stuff down here. Do you do wholesale?" I was like, "Yeah, I do wholesale." And they're like, "Oh, so how much?" I was like, "Well, this, and if you pay more than $100, it'll be shipping." And they were like, literally, their response was, "Really?" And they spent $1,500. I was like,
Wow.
"Okay."
Good for you. Yeah.
So
That's
I'm like,
great.
"Yeah, we'll take care of you. Have no fear."
Okay.
Mhm.
I mean, like I said, that you gotta cultivate and build those relationships
Mhm.
with people.
Yep.
And again, I mean, I keep pushing it, but I believe this is why the Comics Pro thing is so important. Is that you can do that at these shows. Like you get a good amount of time to spend talking with people and finding out what they like and what they don't like. And even though you got a lot of push of indies don't sell here, I mean, you still had a good conversation with the person that they could change their mind later. They could say, "Oh man, I remember us talking. Give me a couple books and we'll see how they do."
Now, I got a question for you guys. Like, we're talking about comic books generally, right? Now, how different is it with trades, right? Like, do you see, numbers getting better? Do you find those things to be more evergreen than, let's say, just a regular comic?
Oh my God.
And do you find them to be easier to sell?
They are wildly successful for me and becoming more so. Like I sell so many trade paperbacks as back issues on a Kickstarter, and it's not even necessarily that book. It's like, hey, here's Critter, and we're doing a new issue, but you can get trade paperbacks of Oz and Penny and whatever else. And people are just like, give me all these things. So, and the great part about selling trades is, guess what, guys? Those are readers, because they're not collecting trades. I mean, they can be, but generally speaking, 99% of those dudes are reading your freaking book. And if you've got volume 2, volume 3,
Thanks,
volume
Michael.
4,
Appreciate you.
they're going to come back for it. I mean, even at these cons, man, I go to a lot of small cons now, and I have really noticed that small cons are where the readers are, and big cons are where the collectors are. I am seeing this in a huge divergence, more and more and more. I went to a con. I did a 2-day con in St. Louis. I had 4 boxes of back issue comics, variants and stuff. And then everything else was trade paperbacks around the table. I didn't sell a single variant cover at that con, but I sold a wild amount of trade paperbacks that people were just like, give me all of this reading material, man.
Wow.
But then when I go to a place like C2E2 or a bigger show like that, all the collectors are there. Where's your this guy? Where's your that guy? I want those variant covers. And they don't give a damn about what they're reading. So I've been doing these smaller shows on purpose. But the more that I've done them, I'm now seeing a very specific divergence in what those people are interested in. So there's that too. But yeah, trade paperbacks, get to your damn trade paperback, guys. It's going to change your life.
Yeah, agreed. Are you doing Akron again this year?
I am. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, all right. I'll see you there. I'll be there.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome.
And I know you guys do smaller shows. I'm trying to do that too. Is anyone doing like the Wednesday comic book signing? Wednesday signing at a comic shop, like New Comic Day, where you go in for a couple hours.
Yeah, we do.
I do New Comic.
We do free comic book day, and then just recently we're going to start. We did one, and we're going to do a Comicsburg day at a local comic shop every year now. So we're going to do like mini cons at stores.
Yeah,
but that's like once or twice a year. Shouldn't we be doing them every time a new book comes out? Do a little tour where you hit like a bunch of comic shops on a Wednesday, like local shops, and make it more of a regular thing than once a year?
I mean, there's no reason not to. It's just a matter of organizing it and getting it set up.
Right.
Like the guy that I do free comic book day with, I've gone to his shop for the last 5 years. I haven't gone anywhere else. And so not only am I ingratiating myself with him because he's like, Tom's coming again, this is awesome, I'm seeing his customers again and again and again. And I'm not even in Diamond. They can't buy my books, through his store, other than the fact that he deals direct with me, so that my books are there.
And then there's Buy Indie Comics Day too, and then Local Comic Shop Day is another one we do. Yeah,
but you're right. I mean, if Wednesday is when we're coming out, if like I've already talked about to some of my stores, like, look, I'm going to be out through AP starting, well, technically in November with one issue, but then everything kind of goes monthly in January. Do you want me to come in and whenever these books show up, I'm minutes from you. I can drop in and do a signing for a few hours and I'm happy to do it. So hopefully that'll be good for them. Hopefully it'll be good for me. If I'm out there saying, hey, my book's coming out through AP, maybe that means they order 5 more copies. Like it all gets the wheels turning as best it can.
So Randy, I mean, have you seen a change? Have you done any trades recently, or like just in general, just in your history? Because you've done it for a minute.
I agree 100% with Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the more little shows that I do, the more you move. And with the stuff that I'm doing, I try to be self-contained as much as possible. Single issue stories, but do the best story that you can with the best art and the best, coloring, just so they have something. They're not worried about picking up a number 2 or having to get all the entire run, unless I've got, all 2 or 3 of the in there as a set. The hero bot that I do is all self-contained. They don't have to. They can pick up number 2 and not have had to pick up number 1 and still enjoy the story. It's real simple access, real easy to get into, and you just got to keep it entertaining and fun.
All right, cool. Frank, what about you? I mean, you've done a ton of them.
Yeah, we haven't really done a trade in a while, so I'm getting ready to. So it'll be interesting to see. But I do know that reorders, when we did them in the past, reorders from trades would come at a more of a regular rate than like the floppies. Because even in the early 2000s, I'd put out a floppy. Within a month, I'd get reorders for maybe 50 to 100. Now I don't get hardly any reorders, and I know the comic stores want them, so I have to be the one that sends them, direct to the comic shops. But yeah, we just haven't done a trade in a while, but we're getting ready to. So
we exist in this world of I'll wait for the trade too, and that's another problem that floppies have. Is it's I'll wait for the trade. Either just because that's what they like, their readers, and they just want it for their shelf, right? Or they're concerned that if they're buying number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4 might never ever come out. So they're like, well, I'll wait for the trade. And, all that's been a thing for the last, decade plus. So that's a tricky thing too.
Mr. Rosario, you put out a bunch of trades. How are they working out for you?
They work out well because it's also a lot easier to transport a stack of trades than a stack of floppies. Higher margins, higher price points.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually moving away now. This is really weird. This is going to be a test for me. I'm moving away from trades like Legend of Oz 1 through 4. I'm about sold out of them, but I don't want to just reprint them all. So I'm actually going to go and do our first omnibus. So it'll be our first big old honking thing. But the goal is to get like the first 4 volumes that normally would cost them at a store like, $75-$95 individually. If I can get like all 4 of them to run about $40 or $50, like I feel like I can sell that at a con like easy. And so then instead of people coming in going like, well, I'll try number 1 for $15. No. You're going to buy all of it for $40. And that again will change my, my convention $1 at the end of the day.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, for myself, I know I've had a harder time selling a $5 book than I do selling a $20 trade. I can sell $20 trades all day long.
Right.
That one single comic that's $5, I have a hard time selling. But a $20 trade, those I can sell. No problem.
People like to know that the story is finished or at least finished to a point where they can it's the Netflix experience. They want the content and they're willing to wait for it. They're willing to wait till you've reached a point where they're happy to come in with, I'm going to sit down with this book and it's the equivalent of 5 floppies and it'll take me longer time to read it. And they just enjoy that. It's just what it is.
Yeah. If you can sell issue 1, you can sell issue 2. If you can sell issues 1 and 2, you can sell 3. If you can sell issues 1, 2, and 3, you might as well just move the trade.
Just take everything I got. It's all good. It's good. Get the value meal, right?
That's right.
Just buy it all.
We have a one of everything deal.
You want fries with that, right?
There you go.
Yeah. No. That's. I suck.
Yeah, I dropped 2 things into the private chat.
No. Before we close out, I want to pull up. Marvin sent me something, so I want to pull it up and show it off. Sorry about that, guys. I am like I need a producer.
Yeah.
You know, I need a producer.
It's all good.
There we go. All right, so Marvin, walk us through this. What is this, real quick?
So because I'm old and I'm a guy that likes to try to take advantage of being old, I did a deal from now until Thursday for 49% off issue number 1 of the Edge because I'll turn 49 years old on Thursday.
Nice.
Well, okay.
Congratulations.
Very good.
On the sale or being
You're
49?
49?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, you look like you're in your 30s. You look better than me.
Not with all this gray, man. Come on.
Look, Randy looks better than you, so come on, man. I mean,
There you go. There you go.
and Randy's only 32.
Yeah.
Randy, you got a lot of miles on those 32 years, baby.
I do.
Randy's been partying, bro.
Yeah. So issue 1 introduces us to the strike team, Revenant in the world of the Edge. So, you know, we've got Revenant, whose ability to duplicate himself from a drop of his own blood, which people seem to really enjoy because for some unknown reason, he's become one of the most popular characters in the book. I don't know why. I don't know why people like this guy. He's a jerk.
That's probably why they like him.
And I know people have told me that I have a new appreciation for Multiple Man because of the way that you use this character. I was like, okay, that's helpful, I guess, somewhat.
All right.
But I mean, it's a lot of fun, and I'm really enjoying writing it, and I know that Mark really enjoys drawing it, and hopefully we can get our colorist Luis back into the game pretty soon because he's been getting murdered by IDW with Ninja Turtles and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Sons of bitches.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, we made it to hour 2. Thank you so much. You guys are all awesome. Please, Frank, let everybody know where they can find you and your work, sir.
Hey guys, so Asylum Press is at Asylum Press at Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Frank Forte Art at Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, also TikTok. AsylumPress.com if you want to see what we're working on, and the Fearless Dawn Kickstarter is live now. Just search Fearless Dawn; it'll come right up.
Cool. Randy, where can they find you and your work, sir?
You can find aerocomics.store. It's got all the Aero comics that are readily available and ready to ship out immediately. Other than that, you can watch fundmycomic.com and look for Aero Comics there. AR13L is up there right now. The Fool campaign is still up there. It's a title that I wrote, self-contained comic that really, really happy with. A lot of fun. The Soul Tac 4 is just up there now, and I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody, and they're going to let me know about it. But go up there, fund my comic, look for the Aero Comics banner. There's a lot of books up there that we're all helping out and self-promote. Plus, I do 2 podcasts on the Indy Comics Network. One early Friday morning at 5 a.m. where we look at the best sequential art that you could ever imagine seeing. Just phenomenal stuff from great classic masters. That's Comics by Night at 5 a.m. Then Sunday mornings at 9 a.m., we look through a bunch of oddball stuff, the stuff that really inspires us and keeps us doing what we want to, what we're doing here in this business. It's a nice, lot of fun programming. We just went through 3 weeks of looking at really oddball Marvel comics from the 70s, a lot of titles that nobody were even aware of. And just a lot of fun stuff like that. That's over on the Indie Comics Network, all archived over there for your listening and viewing pleasure. So,
nice. Tom, can I find you and your work, sir?
Yeah. So basically, you can just kind of look for this wherever you're at. You'll probably find us. We kind of live on Facebook, so everything we do kind of starts here and then filters out to Instagram and whatever they are. What is it? X now, I guess, whatever. And we are on doing a little bit of TikTok now. So if you're on TikTok, go find us over there. We're goofing around with that platform. This is our 13th year anniversary. We're already gearing up. We already know what the next 3 years of production is for Big Dog Inc., including our 15-year anniversary in 2025. So there is a lot on the way.
Nice. Mr. Marvin, when can they find you and your work, sir?
You can find me at theedgecomic.com. That'll source me out to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I mean, I did start putting stuff on TikTok. I don't know about that thing. I tried to set up my store on there, and it was like make me jump through hoops, and I gave up.
Dude, that was really difficult for me too. Like it's approved. I'm in TikTok, and it doesn't show up, and I'm like
it kept like every time I click a button, it would say you're not set up for a store. I'm like, that's what I'm trying to do, and it kept kicking me out.
That's because you're not 18-year-old girls.
Well, maybe that's why I need to work with the youngsters and have them do it for me. So this week is the last week to order Blowtorch. It's a collaboration between Page One Comics and Comicsburg that is in previews right now.
Nice.
Yes. All right, Mr. Rosario, where can they find you and your work, sir?
UnstoppableComics.com. All roads for me lead to and from UnstoppableComics.com. You can find all of our social media links on the website.
All right, very nice. My name is JD Calderon. You can find me here just about every Sunday, except Sunday the 10th, because I will be at Baltimore Comic-Con.
What?
Yeah, so, But next week we'll be back with another panel. Check me out on Kickstarter, Facebook, and all those other places, and the OswaldChronicles.com, TallTalesOnline.com, and all those other good spaces. And if you guys want to buy these books, go check the show notes. The links are in there. Click on those links. Go buy yourself some books, awesome books. And just remember, buy more indie comics, especially ours. Thank you, guys. Have a great night. And I'll be talking
Thanks, guys.
Later, everybody.
Thank you.